Hi, this is Fred Barstein with 401k TV at the Thunderbird School of Global Management, where we just completed a TPSU program. I'm here with our adjunct lecturer, Jim Papilla. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Fred. Nice to be here. Nice to have you here with us for TPSU, Arizona.
Thank you. Okay, if we ask you a few questions today?
I'd love it.
And before we do, just give us a brief background about yourself and Hightower, Arizona.
Okay. Been in the business since 1987. About a year into the business, I started consulting to retirement plans. Mm-hmm. And I earned a position with the institutional consulting group of E.F. Hutton, all the way through Citi Smith Barney, which was Citi Institutional Consulting, and now am an independent RIA, Registered Investment Advisory Firm of Hightower, and opened up the Scottsdale office.
Great. And so one of the discussions we got into, which we do a lot at TPSU, is talking about revenue sharing. In our experience, in a lot of our programs, very, very few of the plan sponsors understand revenue sharing. Is that your experience as well?
That is my experience, and I think that was evident today when we brought up the topic of revenue sharing with all the plan sponsors that were in there. Even though many of them are probably subject to it, they aren't aware of it, they don't know what they are. And as we know, as fiduciaries, that's an asset to the plan, and they should know where those fees are coming from, but just as important, or perhaps more important, where are they going?
Right.
What services are they getting in exchange for those revenue sharing dollars to serve the plan for the benefit of the participants?
And it struck me because on the panel we had two money managers, a plan sponsor, and a record keeper. Was an open architecture record keeper. And as I was sitting there, I was like, it's so hard to explain and all the different nuances, looking at it from the plan sponsor side. It's like, why don't we just get rid of it? And have people pay one fee to the investment manager, and then another to the record keeper, and then another to the advisor. So get rid of revenue share. And I know you're passionate about that. So what are your thoughts on it?
I am passionate about it, and maybe for the simple matter of I'm trying to keep my life as simple as possible. Yes. I'm trying to deliver a simple solution. I call it sophisticated simplicity to the plan sponsors that we consult to.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody begrudges anybody for making a living, but I also think that they're entitled to the transparency and know what they're paying and what they're getting for those fees that are being paid.
Right.
So to your point, I think it would be much simpler if I explained and fully disclosed my fee, itemized the services that I'm providing, and the record keeper does the same, and the asset managers get paid for asset management. And we don't need all this under-the-table revenue sharing going on that isn't transparent to the plan sponsors, and make their life easier as plan sponsors who are responsible for how those fees are being distributed for the services being rendered.
So the way it would work is that unless the plan sponsor wanted to write a check and pay everything, which is not necessary or required, it would be that each participant would be charged an equal percentage, depending on negotiated fee, to offset the cost of the record keeping administration and the advisor. Right?
Exactly. Again, simple. And think about the ramifications of having a menu of funds with different revenue sharing fees being extracted, and how a participant who's maybe in an index fund who's paying no revenue sharing versus somebody who's in the active fund that is paying revenue sharing. I think we all see how that's not a fair arrangement for those two participants.
Right.
And one participant subsidizing the other participant for the record keeping and other services that are being paid.
And it's not a fiduciary issue unless it turns out that the fiduciaries are in the index funds that don't pay the revenue sharing, and it turns out the rank and file are subsidizing the cost. That might not be such a good thing to look at.
And just one more reason why this convoluted arrangement of revenue sharing should be unwound. Full disclosure, full transparency for all service providers to a plan.
And today, it's an evolution, right? Because today, not all funds have a no revenue sharing or institutional share class. So it's not like everyone can run to it if they want to keep a semblance of the funds they have. But are you seeing more going to that institutional share class or no revenue sharing?
I am seeing it. I'm seeing it on the plan sponsor side. I'm seeing it on the plan advisor side.
Right.
And I also see a trend where the fund managers now, because of demand and market and influences, whether it's Department of Labor regulations, whether it's the awareness of revenue sharing, the fund asset managers now are offering more of these institutional share classes that don't have the revenue sharing. We are going in the right direction, but it is change that is taking time.
Right. It just seemed so obvious when I was seeing them going, I don't know how these people are understanding everything that they're talking about. So appreciate your time and your support of TPSU and to TROW. Thanks a lot to Hightower, Arizona. And thank you for watching 401k TV today. Stay tuned.